Have I been thankful for anything lately? Like, all I've been doing is complaining about how nothing is right. Everything's wrong.
You just heard a little soundbite and teaser from my guest on Gratitude today, Chantal Grant. In this conversation, you have so many things to look forward to, including the benefits that she personally experienced with practicing gratitude, everything from transformation to things you may not expect, like finding her voice. We also cover some benefits that are included in an article from Psychology Today. Please like, subscribe, and share this episode and the podcast if you've received value from it. Also, check out Feel Good the Movement. It's inspired by recent events related to George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and it's about being the change you want to see in the world. You can find out more at www.patreon.com/feelgood. FEELGOOD. Lastly, I just want to leave you with this thought as you listen to this. There's a wonderful quote by Dr. Wayne Dyer, that says, "When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change." Enjoy the show. Hello, world. Thank you for tuning in. You're listening to Feel Good, the podcast. I'm your girl and host, Malika Lee. And today's topic is about the transformation of gratitude, of thankfulness, of appreciation. My guest today is aspiring architect, Chantal Grant. Hi, Chantal. Why are you laughing?
That's the way you said it, Chantal, aspiring architect. What is this? Why did we?
Welcome. I'm so glad to have this conversation with you today.
Hey, everyone.
Yes, and I have an update I was looking forward to sharing with you about even yesterday, like a testimony of gratitude in my own life. So I can't wait to hear some of your story, which is why I wanted to have you on the show to share with other people as well, because I was just so inspired with what you shared with me. And I feel like other people could benefit from it as well. So let's get right into it with just sharing a little bit about first, like the work that you do, because a lot of people, I feel like that grounds people in their perspective. So what is it that you do? I said an aspiring architect. What does that mean?
So I am working in the field of architecture, but I am not licensed, which just really means you're the person with all the liability. So I'm working towards licensure, and hopefully that will come to fruition within the next year or so. That's by day. By night, I am a full-time certified creative.
All right.
So
sing a little something for us. Just sing one of your creative expressions.
I can't because I haven't warmed up my pipes.
She's like, look, I'm a professional. I need to be warmed up, honey. I need my tea.
Okay.
Okay, we'll let you slide this time.
Thank you. So appreciative.
Okay, so what is it, because I like to ask guests, what matters to you? So like, we know what you do, but then like, what gets your heart going? What drives your inspiration or enthusiasm?
Good that you asked. I love music. Music is my heart. Like, I have a playlist for every mood that I might possibly be in. For real. I do. I love music. It's my heart. I love everything about music. And I've been working in the opportunity of doing more with music, but on the back end. Like, I'm not an upfront person. Like, put me in the back. I will pull the curtains open. I will cue the lights. I will do all the props. I will cater the food. I will do all of that stuff. Just do not put me in the front on the stage. That's not really where I like to hang out. And life has just like really been trying to put me there. I'm like, no, life, I don't want to go to the front. I
I
want to
know
stay
that
in the
feeling.
back.
I know that
Yeah.
feeling. But
Yeah.
as an aside, I'm like, it's not all about you, but I hear you
Aw.
because I've been there. Okay, we're gonna move it right along. So, talking about gratitude and how it's impacted your life. Let's get into maybe what the before. So let's talk about the before, and then we'll get into like how the gratitude, how that got introduced in your life, and then the after, although we know it's an ongoing process. So what was your life like before you started your thankfulness practice?
There was a lot of questions, but I wasn't slowing down long enough to get the answers. You feel me?
Mm. Questions about what?
Why am I doing this? Like, wake up, go to work, come home, wake up, go to work, come home.
Wake up,
Rather,
go to work, go home.
lather, a rinse, a repeat. Like,
Right.
okay, but like to what end? You know what I mean?
I
So
do.
things just got really monotonous. And yeah, that's kind of where I was hanging out. And I started not to be okay with it. And I was like, all right, what's up? Like, then I started to slow down long enough to be like, oh, it's something missing. Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the question to what end really turned into, why am I here? What's my purpose? You know what I mean? Like,
I do.
the more I dug into it, it was like the question just evolved.
Mm-hmm.
So letting that take me where it would was, it was hard,
Yeah.
but I wanted the answer, so it didn't matter, you know?
It sounds like there was an emotional just now when you're like, it was hard. What was that feeling just now I heard?
That was some indigestion from the food I was eating before.
Oh.
Kidding. um, no, it because I just remember being like, man, why am I here?
What did that feel like? I guess is what I'm getting to. The hard part, the heart of the matter.
Like, who wants to look at themselves? Nobody, okay? Nobody wants to do it. That's why we have so much addiction in our
And even
world.
you right now, because you're not answering my question.
Am I avoiding it? Nobody wants to. I don't want to answer your question, okay? It was
Okay.
hard. It
Yeah.
was hard. It was painful.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of, I don't know why I feel the way I feel.
Yeah.
You know, I guess that's why it was hard. It's hard to answer that question because unless you stop
Mm-hmm.
and really talk to yourself, not so much listen to yourself, because we can tell ourselves really negative things that we've heard in the past from someone else,
Mm-hmm.
things that we just picked up along the way that don't belong to us. We start to practice that, and that's not our load to carry. And I had so many questions and not enough answers.
Yeah.
And that is frustrating,
Mm-hmm.
and then you don't know who to get the answers from. So I think that was the start of it. But when I asked myself, why am I here? That led to what was my purpose. And when I found that out, it turned my whole world upside down.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
So I want to hear more
truly
about
upside
that, but
down.
I want to hear, and staying with the theme for a little bit longer. So we hear where you were, like your before.
Yeah.
And then it sounds like something happened where you started to change, to see things differently, to maybe do something differently. Like, how did that get integrated into where you were with just like this not feeling frustrated and a whole bunch of other emotions I can feel, but you're not saying, so I'm not going to put words in your mouth. But how did you go from that space to like starting to practice thankfulness?
I had to be okay with my ish. You know what I mean? Like, it took a level of me accepting myself for who I was. I had to start there. That's like period, point blank. Working through my own stuff had to happen. in order for me to be able to slow down. Like I had to say, it's okay if you don't have all the answers. It's okay if you're angry. It's like I just had to be kind to myself and say, listen, you are the way you are for a reason. Just get to the bottom of that. And a lot of times, some things were easier to uncover than others.
Didn't you say though, like going to the thankfulness part, that you had a thought one day that you had nothing in your life to be grateful for?
Absolutely. Because I had practiced so long looking at the negative that all I saw was the negative. And it was like a feeling of impending doom. Like, I am never going to get out of feeling like this. I have to quickly grab hold to something that is good. And that's when I was like, wait a minute. Have I been thankful for anything lately? Like, all I've been doing is complaining about how nothing is right. Everything's wrong. I don't see an end to this. And it was like, maybe if I just try to find something to be thankful for, that'll help. I didn't know what else to do at that point. Like, there was nothing else to do but find something thankful to be thankful for. So it was like a panic to be like, what can I be thankful for? There's got to be something quick, find it. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
It sounds like despair and desperation, almost the energy of it. Like, oh my God.
Definitely desperation. Yeah. Like, yeah. How do I douse the flames? You know what I mean? Because I felt like everything was on fire.
So then what did your thankfulness practice look like? Were you writing it? Were you like, how did you go about incorporating it?
I started waking up a little bit earlier.
Why are you laughing?
Because I know I started noticing, like, I just get up and I get ready for work, and that's why I felt like I was in a rut. So I changed the way I woke up. So in my waking up, and sometimes I will fall asleep, I would just lay there and be like, I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful that I'm alive and breathing. Just the basic things that we don't ever think about. Like,
yeah.
Because we take life for granted. And then I reconnected with an old friend, and she was feeling the same way, and we just started texting each other every day, one thing that we were thankful for. And within a matter of months, like, things started to move in my life. Things started to change and evolve through that thankfulness. And then I was just thankful for the thankfulness. You know what I'm saying?
I love that. Say more about that.
It sounds crazy.
I get it though. That's why I love it.
I was like, I'm thankful because that brought me out, honey. That was set free. Thank you, thankfulness.
Hallelujah.
Well.
So what started happening in your life? Because you talked about that, like getting up, going to work, like that kind of, almost, it's like a kind of waking sleep in a way, that kind of routine, humdrum. So what were some tangible things that started to happen? Were they in your relationships? Was it the job? All of the above?
All of the above, man. Like, seriously. I honestly, through the thankfulness, was able to find a way. I found my voice. I became a better advocate for myself, because anybody that knows me knows that if I go hard for you, I go hard. Like, I will go to war for the people that I love, but I have a hard time speaking up for myself. And I really found my voice and realizing that I didn't have to fight to be heard, because I felt like that was something I struggled with my whole life. And that my voice is just as powerful in a whisper as it is in a yell. And
how does that connect to gratitude for you?
I I don't know that I've really explored that, to be honest with you. It just, I think the thankfulness helped me realize like everything is gonna be okay. And that made it easier for me to be able to say the things I needed to say because I knew it was coming from a place of thankfulness and love. And it
Mm,
wasn't coming from a place of anger anymore, you
okay.
know?
Yeah.
I think that I think for now that is my answer to your question. For
Okay.
now, I'm gonna explore that a little bit more on my own time, but yeah, I really feel like the thankfulness like really massaged a lot of things out. I was able to release a lot of things because I realized what the friction in my life was for.
And what was that?
Before, like I was trying to justify, I'm right in this situation, and I completely missed the mark. It wasn't about me being right. It was these people, these situations, whoever they are, whatever it might be, is not coming to attack you. It's here to help you.
Yes.
And
Yes.
those people and those things are a reflection of you. It's informing you of the things that you need to change, you need to work on, you need to fortify. And so instead of being angry at those situations, I was thankful because I had slowed down enough to recognize what it was. And what I thought it was before was completely off the mark. Um,
Yes. I get that because I want to just interject. It's like it went from an adversarial experience of things being against you, right? Because I've experienced that, to recognizing like in the bigger picture how things are like supporting you and for you, even if it might feel uncomfortable or bring things up in you. But it's like, how is this for me? How can I be grateful for this? Because then you can receive the lesson and the teaching from it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, and I really just this morning in my meditation time, which I just started doing, um, a 21-day meditation, 21-day abundance meditation.
Uh-huh.
And I'm new to meditation, so this has been really exciting. But just this morning, I was able to release those people from that negative energy and to thank them in my
Yeah.
spirit. Like, man, thank you for coming and doing what you were sent to do.
Yeah.
It didn't feel good at the time. The memory of it is still painful because it's a new realization,
Mhm.
and it's going to be something that I have to work at every day to remember they're not an adversary. They came for a reason,
Yeah.
and to be thankful for that reason and to still continue to do the work to keep them out of that negative space.
Yeah, and that, I mean, that really stands and goes back to what you said before about speaking up, because that is a form of standing in your power. That
Absolutely.
you have a choice of
Absolutely.
how things affect you. So
Absolutely.
now I understand, because power is like speaking from a chakra perspective. That's the speaking part and the speaking
Right.
connection. And so yeah, you went from like that kind of victimization of just going with the woes of the world. And I want to mention, if anyone hasn't heard my taking responsibility interview, I think it's like
Oh,
episode
that was a
14.
good one.
Yeah, that's
That
what
was
this
a
is
good
reminding me
one.
of.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
because what we appreciates, and I want to share a testimony, and this happened yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So
that's fresh.
right, because in my spirit, and welcome to the meditation club, I will say that
Thank you.
meditation has really changed my life. And the first time I tried to meditate was from a library book when I was about 13. And that didn't go over well. I kept like, that whole thing. Wait, am I doing this right? That little voice.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I'm still there. I'm
yeah,
still
girl,
there.
it's, don't worry, there's more. And that's even part of the meditation experience. But during my meditation, I kept getting, well, I'm just going to even be more direct than that. It's not even just a meditation. I'm reading Sacred Woman by Queen Afua. And one of the exercises that she invites us to do is to converse with our womb. W-O-M-B. It's not a word that I say very often, so I feel self-conscious about how I'm pronouncing it for people to understand. And in my conversation with my womb, it's been so rich. And her words for me yesterday, it was like very simple. Just practice being grateful.
Yeah.
Just practice it. My testimony story was that I got to a place because I realized it's not just about even thinking grateful, but it's like the feeling grateful is like the activation of it. And I sat down in front of a meal yesterday, and food I've recognized as an area in my life in the past that I've been unconscious. And, now I've started sitting down. I didn't always sit down to eat. Down, saying my blessing, and I just got so moved by all of the hands that this was like my breakfast. It's nothing complicated. I mean, some wild berries, some frozen wild berries from Trader Joe's, and like some millet or something, porridge.
Yeah.
So, but I just got so moved thinking of all of the life that poured into the life in my bowl that is now available to pour into me. All the people who grew the grains and grew the blueberries, who picked the blueberries, who froze the blueberries. Then I even went further to like, wow, the person who invented freezers. So that the blueberries could come from wherever they came from in the world and still make it all the way to me fresh. Like that was something that was inconceivable 100 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it just got so deep that I started to weep. And was so moved. And so later on that day, I like to make evergreen so that anytime people are listening to this, it's relevant. But I think that I can't tell this story without acknowledging that, in this country right now, people are protesting about the killing, basically, of George Floyd, an African-American man, by a white officer. And I'm not going to get into all the details of that right now. But what I will say is that I went to Trader Joe's to get some groceries, and Trader Joe's was closed because they implemented a curfew in Seattle. And long story short, and I was just like, okay, like I just rolled with it, even though it was really out of the way. I'm not talking about a store like 5 minutes away. I'm talking about with the construction and all these other things. Like it took me over 30 minutes to get there, basically.
Yeah.
And then they're closed. I'm like, really? So I drive home, and on my way home, I noticed a sign that said free food.
What? We like free food.
It was right. And it was at like this place not too far from my house. And so something told me to turn around. And as I'm turning around, in my mind, I'm like, because I'm a pescatarian, I eat mostly organic now. And in my mind, I'm like, they're not going to have anything probably that I can eat. But I just listened to that little voice. I turned around, pulled in. And when I tell you, look, now I got clapped. When I tell you that they had food from PCC, and PCC is like a small co-op, let's say equivalent of a Whole Foods.
Yeah.
With organic apples, organic tangerines. The lady, when I told her that I don't eat meat, she brought me over a fillet of tuna, wild caught, worth $15.99. When I tell you I walked out of there, because, think of like Whole Foods or PC, like that kind of store, you're going to pay a lot more.
Right.
When I tell you I walked away with like $80 almost worth of groceries.
Are you serious?
For free.
What?
And I was like, wow. And it took me a little while, but I connected it back to that appreciation I felt for the food I had that morning.
Right. But because you have been mindful enough to know how to listen to your spirit.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. And I think that is a manifestation of you being thankful and practicing thankfulness and life and the universe, God, the Holy Spirit, however you choose to say it, is giving back to you what you've put out.
Yeah.
And just taking care of your needs.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Because what they say is appreciate what you appreciate appreciates.
girl, that I have to write that down. I'm gonna make a poster and a t-shirt and a keychain.
Well, just send me one. That's all I ask. Just send me a t-shirt when you get it.
I got you, sis. I got you.
So that's one of like my immediate gratitude testimonies.
I feel like, and not feel like, I know, and one thing that I'm realizing is that it has really been a balm for my soul. You know what I mean? Like, in this life, we are mind, body, and spirit. We are, and it's all connected. And just like you have to exercise and eat right for your physical body, you have to do the same for your mind and your spirit.
Yeah.
And I feel like the thankfulness has just been really great food for my spirit. Like, it really has helped cure a lot of ailments. Now, thankfulness is not the be all and end all of healing yourself from the inside out, but it is a really great place to start. You know what I mean? Like, when you working out in the gym and you first start working out, you're not gonna deadlift 200 pounds a day. You know what I'm saying? You gotta start small, and thankfulness is so easy to
and
do.
accessible.
And it's accessible for everyone, you know? And it really has helped me see the beauty in the world around me in spite of everything that's been going on. You know, like, I can still find the good.
Well, tell us about some of that good, because I was going to ask you about that, as far as, because right now it's very intense, and for some people they're grieving, some people are angry. So what is it right now that you found to be grateful for?
Oh man, my family, honestly, you don't get to pick them, but I couldn't ask for a better crew. And we don't always get it right, you know what I'm saying? But just being able to connect in the midst of all of this and still crack jokes. And, you know, when you're an adult, you get to pick your family. You know what I mean? And so when I say my family, I don't just mean biologically. I mean my friends. Like, everyone has been so supportive of each other through all of this mess that it's beautiful. You know, it really is beautiful, and I'm thankful for it, because it's so easy to slip into a state of despair, you know? But I've been there and I've done that, and I don't want to go back to that. So,
and you don't have to, huh?
And I don't have to, you know? So my mindset through all of this is remain thankful and you will get through it.
Ooh, I love that. Say it again.
Remain thankful and you will get through it. And honestly, it's so contagious. Like, thankfulness and love are just as contagious and even more powerful and potent than hate and negativity. And I had to get out of that mindset, you know, like, it creates brain grooves. And it's so easy to slip back into that. So it honestly is an everyday regimen. Like, just like I take my vitamins every day, I take a dose of thankfulness. You know?
I love that. And when you said it's contagious, what I noticed yesterday, because, you know, I feel like, and this really struck me, and I'm going to say more about where I fit in a video separate from this. But what I realized yesterday, I was like, we are so powerful, and we shape our experiences, and we don't even recognize how powerful we are. When I tell you the flow that happened yesterday, just from me being in a grateful place, like, I went to Home Depot. Now, you know, sometimes it's like, you might be in there an hour just trying to find two things that you know you already want.
So overwhelming.
Yes, and can't find. when I tell you this man, I think he just picked up on my energy, and I asked him for help. And then he just started following me and taking me to every other item I wanted in the store. And then this other one was like, excuse me, can you help me? You know what I mean? Like, we were just talking. He was like, okay, what else is it that you need? Oh, okay, that's over here. And he walked me through.
You had a personal shopper for free. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Right? But it was just like, I was like, wow, I think he feels my heart. And I know I've felt people's energy before. And there's some people that are like, ooh, I don't want to be in their presence or be too close or for too long. And there's other people that, you want to be around.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think gratitude is definitely, and of course I thanked him and was appreciative, like all of that.
Yeah, yeah. But, your attitude is contagious, man. And I don't know. Thankfulness, I'm thankful for thankfulness because it moved things. It got the ball rolling again. I felt stagnant, Since I started my thankfulness journey, literally within a matter of months, when my friend and we had reconnected and started doing the thankfulness accountability, things started changing within a matter of months. Like, I think maybe we started at the end of summer, beginning of fall, and by January 2020, I was looking at a new job.
Look at that. Look
yeah.
At that. So I
on my birthday, I was like, look at God, want to do it?
Right? So I want to just mention some of the benefits, and then I'd like to close this out with you just mentioning some next steps, like maybe how you started if someone just wants to start, or and building on that, like of how your practice has evolved and other, like words of wisdom or things you can offer. So I just want to offer, though, Psychology Today, like it's not just our experiential stories that in anecdotal stories, but also from Psychology Today, there are scientific proven benefits to gratitude.
Yeah.
They have being grateful can open doors to more relationships. It improves physical health. Grateful people have fewer aches and pains and report feeling healthier.
Can I say something to that?
Yeah.
When I, this morning in my meditation time, realized that I needed to release the negative energy around the experiences that I had, the first thing that I noticed was my neck started hurting. And I was like, why is my neck hurting? Like, honestly. And it was because it was something that I hadn't done that needed to be done. And my whole everything realized, ooh, I'm being stretched. Have you ever gotten a muscle cramp after exercising? Because your muscles aren't used to that. And so that manifested into my physical body. And my neck has been hurting for a few hours, but like, as I'm getting used to the idea of releasing that and being thankful for those experiences instead of resenting them, my whole being is relaxing into that position.
Yes, because our cells store memories, and it feels like, how they say people were a pain in the neck?
Yeah. Yes.
Feel like you're healing the people that you had initially thought were pains in the neck.
Yeah, man. That's real.
Yeah, and it's like a weight can literally be lifted off your shoulders, off your body, by releasing the emotional weight and the burden of holding grudges, of holding pain.
Exactly. And I can't tell you why. Well, I just told you why, but I'm just now really noticing that in my meditation time, my muscles are literally like, I'm like, I need to stretch. I probably should do some yoga or something because I'm feeling my body releasing these things as I'm doing my meditation.
Yeah. It's powerful. Meditation is so powerful. I need to do an episode on that too. I have to find the guest because it has been life-changing. So now, and that goes right into what they have for number 3, that gratitude improves psychological health. And those two are very closely related. It says that it reduces a multitude of toxic emotions.
Come on now.
Right?
They preaching this. I need to send in an offering to what publication is this?
Girl, look, let me tell you. You want to send in an offering to Psychology Today or to the podcast? Look, to the podcast, you can send one in too.
Yes, I love offering.
Right? I'll receive it. Gratitude, it says it enhances empathy and reduces aggression. Grateful people sleep better. It improves self-esteem. And I think you spoke to that before about finding your voice.
Oh, man.
And I feel like also, because I've been going through that process also of advocating for myself. And it comes from now like a level of love and appreciation for who I am.
Yeah. The thankfulness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Being thankful for who you are and being okay with, okay, I'm not perfect. That's fine. And I accept myself for who I am, the good and the bad. And the things that I don't like, I can change.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be permanent, but I'm thankful for who I am and what I experienced, you know?
All of it.
Yeah, and honoring that.
And listen to this last one, which I think is really appropriate for the times that we are having this conversation in, with the Rona, as people call it.
Oh Lord, not the Rona.
With the Rona, with the protest, and I'm even grateful for these times, and I'll say why in just a moment. But it says that gratitude not only reduces stress, but plays a major role in overcoming trauma. And that in a study that they did in 2003, they said gratitude was a major contributor to resilience following the terrorist attacks of 9/11.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So it says, even in recognizing all that you have to be thankful for, even during the worst times, fosters resilience. Yeah. And this is an article entitled 7 Scientifically Proven Benefits of Gratitude by Amy Morin.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to, go ahead and send me that. Thank you.
I already just read you the whole article, but yes, if you'd like to revisit it again, that's
I do.
Fine. And so, with all of that being said, with hearing now, even in these difficult and challenging times, all the things that are to be grateful for. And I'll just say one of the things that I see from a spiritual perspective and a person who's done healing work, like you said, people don't like to look at themselves. I have been on the path of transformation and really wanting to live life well. And how do you do that? And what is this for? And, like that perspective.
Yeah.
And in doing healing work, the reason why I'm grateful for this time and hopeful is because usually people don't make changes in their life until things become so painful and so unbearable that they can no longer continue on the way that they had been.
Yeah.
I feel like as a nation, we've had all of these other things building up, and it's precipitating to where there's a tipping point of people that are finally seeing that the way that things are going in this nation can no longer continue to be done the way that it's been done.
Absolutely.
In the past. And so it's painful and it's messy and it's scary and it's unknown, but it's like that is the makings of like what the healing work is.
It looks like, yeah. And
full circle back to what you said of, you introduced gratitude when you got to a place of feeling so, what was the word you used? Like angry and frustrated and everything in your own life that you're like, okay, there has to be another way.
Yeah. It was a feeling of desperation, like something has to change and it has to change quickly. But the thing that I want to say to anybody who is in the place where I was, the thing about thankfulness is it does not take a lot of energy. And I feel like I said, it's a balm, but it helps you to restore yourself. You know what I mean? Like thankfulness gives you room to do the work. Thankfulness, it's like a plant nursery or a nursery at a hospital. Like you can stay as long as you'd like. You never have to leave. You can revisit it at any time. You can do it while you're sitting, while you're standing. You could do it while you're laying in the bed. Like it doesn't take a lot of energy. What it does take though is for you to slow down and listen.
Mhm.
Slow down long enough to recognize that this life is full of things to be thankful for.
Yes. Okay. So slowing down, because this is great into my segue and wrap up about for people who want to start somewhere. So it sounds like one of the first things is just slowing down, which is so, I think, wise, Chantal, because just like I shared about slowing down to like bless my food,
Mhm.
you know? So then
Yeah.
what's next? What would you say to, what would you suggest? Like, what would be 3 small steps that you would suggest for somebody just starting out that wants to begin a practice of gratitude and reap the benefits?
Um
Slowing down is one. What's number 2?
Slowing down is one. Number two is recognizing you can be thankful for anything. If
Mm-hmm.
you wake up one day and you're like, man, I have run out of things to be thankful for, be thankful that the lights are on. Be thankful that you have your shirt, your favorite shirt, that you can wear it today. Be thankful that you can walk. Be thankful if you can't walk, be thankful that you have somebody to get you to where you're going. If you don't have that, like, you just go down the line. You know what I mean? Like you said, you went all the way back to being thankful for the invention of the refrigerator and the freezer. And recognizing that there were so many contributions by others that had to be made in order for you to have a life of comfort, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it has a domino effect,
Yeah.
you know?
What would you
You can
say is the third thing? Do you think how big a part did having an accountability partner play in your process, do you think?
it had a lot to do with that because it was like, man, I need to check in today, but not just for myself, but for this other person so that they can see, huh, I hadn't thought about that thing you just said you were thankful for. That's
Mhm.
really interesting that you say that, because now that you say that, that illuminates so much other things in my life that I'm like, where I thought I didn't have anything left to be thankful for, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I never saw that. So
Mhm.
having that other person's perspective may enrich the journey.
Mhm.
So in your thankfulness, I guess number three would be maybe find a buddy,
Yeah.
that you can go on the journey with. Like, you don't have to go by yourself. If you're anything like me, you were by yourself when the journey started. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
So find a buddy or
Yeah.
two or 10, to be thankful for, because thankful with, because like I said, it's contagious and you
Mhm.
will bring a whole nother point of view to that person and open up their realm of thankfulness, which will continue to give to you to open up more realms of thankfulness for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Um, and the thing that's coming to my mind to encourage people is just to start, even if you don't know who the buddy is yet, even if
Mm-hmm.
you don't have all those things ironed out. Like if this speaks to you, and you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, like Fannie Lou Hamer uh,
Mm-hmm.
once said, that you can just start today right where you are, and you can be grateful for things that haven't even happened in your life yet.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Ooh,
something that's coming to mind.
that's a whole nother
It
episode.
is, right? That just came out of nowhere. But I'm like, let me put that out there. And then the
Okay.
other thing that just came to mind, one of the books that I go to for spiritual context in day-to-day living is a book called A Course in Miracles. And it says at all times, we are only making 2 choices, no matter what the myriad of choices and experiences are. And you spoke to this, Chantal. We're only choosing at all times between love or fear.
Yeah.
And gratitude is the choice for love.
Yeah. Yeah. You are so right.
And so I want to thank you for being my guest today. Thank you for being open and sharing your experiences. And I want to thank each I want to thank you. And when I'm saying you now, I'm thanking the person who has rocked with us and stayed with us and who has taken the time to listen to this episode, whatever brought you here, whatever kept you here. This conversation is meant to be shared, so we needed you here with us to be a witness, to take it in and to speak to your heart in some way. And so I thank you for taking the time and trusting the show enough and trusting this conversation and my guest enough to stay with us until the end, knowing that you would get something from it. So many blessings to you. I appreciate you as well. And go forth and be grateful.
Yeah.
And until the next time, be good to yourself, be grateful, and give yourself the gift of taking that next step to do something that makes you smile or to feel good today.
Also, please check out Feel Good, the movement. You can find out more details at www.patreon.com/feelgood. It's about being the change that you want to see in the world in a way that is accessible, because it starts right where you are. Please subscribe to the podcast. You can find me on Instagram for upcoming show details and announcements. My Instagram handle is @Ms. MS Malika Lee. I look forward to hearing from you.